You're listening to Lyfe and Shyt. I'm Daneyel Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal. What's up, Mrs. Walker?
What's up, baby?
How you feeling today?
I am feeling energized and I am feeling awake and
You
amazing
wired.
and
Wired.
wired. Yeah, like I feel like I tasted 7 coffees today.
We probably had like 12 cups of coffee today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tasting. Yikes. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready for it. I'm like, let's go. It's weird.
We told the producer, he was like, we want to do 3 episodes tonight.
The coffee got me feeling weird, different.
Yeah.
I'm going through emotions like, ooh.
Oh, man. That's the first, like, we've drank so much coffee today, the first time I lost my peripheral vision.
That was hilarious. I'm like, really, babe?
Yeah, I was like, I cannot see to the side of me. Like, I don't know if my eye was jumping or what. That shit was scary. It's a lot of coffee, though.
Coffee overload.
But it was all dude. We had Ethiopian coffee, Mexican coffee, Peruvian coffee, decaf, like all kinds of shit.
Decaf, yeah.
And drink. And
no decaf.
I think honestly, I don't even think it was the coffee. I think it was the dairy that did it for me. I drink so much. I never drink milk.
That's the dairy that made you feel funky.
Yeah, the
but
dairy.
not the coffee that make you like. Yeah.
Oh man, I got a question for you.
What's that, baby?
How do you manifest?
Manifest. I like that. Manifest that. How do I manifest? So there's a couple of things that you do to manifest, right? One, you have to get rid of like limiting beliefs. So you got to believe it, right? You can't.
What does it mean, limiting beliefs?
Limiting is things that you limit yourself. Like, I can have this, but only if this and this and this happens,
Oh, so
right?
you put a but on it.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So you got to get rid of the buts. Define what you want. Define your goal. What exactly do you want? So it's, I want this, and that's just what I want. You know, some people are like, well, I want this, but, you know, I'm not quite sure.
What if I want to win the lottery? I want to hit the Mega Million.
So that's a little different, right? Because that's manifesting without works. Right, that's kind of like how the Bible says, like, faith without works is dead. And in my sense, that's manifesting as well, right? So you got to have faith, but you got to put a little bit of work in, right?
And not religious faith, just faith. Period.
No. So it's like this is like the faith that I talk about, and I often give this example. When you plant any kind of seed, right? You got to have faith that it's going to grow, but you don't just leave it. You don't just plant it and then walk away, right?
True.
You got to water it. You got to make sure that it gets enough sunlight, right? And then once it starts to grow, you're gonna have to cut it back, right? That's the work, right?
Yep.
That's having faith, like not in a spiritual way, but having faith that something's gonna happen, right? Now, if you don't have faith, then you wait. So you plant that same seed, and then after 2 weeks, you're like, well, shit, why isn't it growing?
Yeah.
So then you pull it out, right? Like, oh, so to me, that's like when you think that you're gonna win from the lottery, then you put a seed in the ground, but then you look at it every 2 weeks, and it's not gonna grow.
You keep digging it out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, seed's still there.
Yeah.
And you put the dirt back. And 2 weeks later, you dig it out. Oh, seed's still there.
Yeah, because you haven't really done anything to deserve this,
Yeah,
you know,
1000%.
and the universe is gonna notice that, and I think that's all of how manifesting works.
That's pretty dope. So we talk about manifesting today, and Daneyel used to do these manifesting meetings that was pretty cool. It was weird at first. It was weird. Like, the meetings wasn't weird. It was the people that came in that was weird. And I'll let you talk more about that.
That's funny.
But I'm a huge believer in manifesting, and it was a homeboy of mine that turned me on to the manifesting manual. Right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And when we got that, it was like, oh shit, we read it, and that, I mean, it was one of those life-changing books for us. And just like everything else that we do, either I take it to a whole nother level, or Daneyel will take it to a whole nother level. And for this time, it was you that took it to a whole nother level, and like you've ingrained it, and then you taught it back to me. And then you went out and started teaching the masses.
Yeah, and that was pretty fun. I had these manifesting meetings and on meetup. Yeah, I would just do random meetups and invite the world pretty much, right? Like, this is what I'm doing, this manifesting
For
meeting,
free.
right? For free.
Yeah.
And initially, like the first time, I want to say maybe 5 people showed up. Amazed. I was amazed, right? Because this is not like a, like people who I know, or I'm having this huge party,
Total
or
strangers.
and then
I
sometimes
was the only person there that you knew.
Yep. And then I was like,
and this was in our house.
shit. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? But then I started to have a really good time. Then it was there were some times when there was only one person or two, and then there was times when there was like a ton of people, like a nice group of people. So always different personalities. It was amazing when I started getting emails, messages back from people who had actually attended the manifesting meetings, and the things that they had manifested or said that they would manifest in that meeting, and how all those things had come to their life. And I was beginning to get tons of those testimonials back. So that was the great part of it. It really does work.
True. I mean, shit. I mean, the things that we manifested in those meetings, we're living today.
Yeah.
Like 1,000%. Every aspect of our life was manifested in those meetings.
Yeah. People have gotten cars. People have moved. People have roommates, and it's just been crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Another way to manifest things that I didn't say is to use visualizations, right? To visualize what you want. You can visualize yourself winning the lottery. That yes, but what are the steps, right?
Yeah.
If you want to visualize yourself being rich, then there are certain things that you would do, right? Like yes, you visualize yourself doing it, but the steps and how it happens, right? And then how you keep your money in. Like, so it's being very specific. Affirmations, positive affirmations. That's always continuously telling yourself positive things, because positivity higher your vibration, which I'll go into more later.
Yeah, your content is everything. One of the things for me is the content that I consume is a major contributor to the things that I manifest.
Yes.
So for me, it was my content and my routines. And like how you said, taking action on things. When we first started doing manifesting meetings, I did them because you asked me to do them. And then when I started reading the manual and actually started practicing, and once you get it, it's one thing about practicing and you're like, all right, I'm practicing and nothing's happening. But then when you practice and things start actually happening, no matter, and that's the thing, is the timeline. Like, that's the one thing about us, is that instant gratification, is we don't see things happening. But when we started, I mean, think about it, the first manifesting meeting was 4 years ago. So it was back in 2018 is when you first started doing manifesting meetings. Wow. And 4 years later is when we started seeing that come into fruition, right?
Yeah.
But before that, it was just little things. It's like, oh, snap. Like, just by me affirming myself every single day, this happened. So now, now, like everything else, when things start going good, you stop doing those things. So I found myself literally just a few weeks ago going back into that.
Yes.
And putting that practice back into place.
Even writing this and thinking about it made me think of all those things, right?
Oh, man. Yeah.
And then, like, when you say the steps or the road to manifesting, I think it's important to discover what you really want. I think that a lot of times people want to manifest things and it's just like, oh, I want riches, right? Well, what does that mean? Because then you can have riches and still be unhappy, right? Which
1,000%.
is a huge, something that it's been pressed upon me a lot lately. Like, people who have money, who are rich, like people like Robin Williams, right? Who had those riches but still killed himself because he was unable to face demons, right? Things that his demons, that's just the bottom line, right? So I think that first we have to learn how to reveal what we really truly want, and that's by looking in the mirror and being able to kind of erase any smudges that are on our mirror. And the smudges are things that have happened to you, and that's getting rid of that limiting belief, right? So these are maybe this mirror, right? And then so there's a mirror, you're looking at yourself, but you see it smudged, and the smudges is everything that anyone's ever said to you that kept or keeps you from being your best self, right? So it's like you're lazy. So someone told me I was lazy, and instead of me kind of being like, no, I'm not lazy and I'm going to work towards it, then I just started kind of saying, well, I'm not lazy, but this is what I am and this is how I am. But
you start justifying it.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the So that's not getting rid of that limiting belief, right? So I'm limiting myself, and I'm keeping into that.
So you start justifying the smudges, and then now the smudges become your characteristic, which is not even true.
Right. And then from those smudges, you get this kind of like a monster on your back that tells you this stuff is true. So yeah, you are lazy and you're a procrastinator, and you won't get things done, and now you believe these things, and now it keeps you from getting to your next step or your next level.
The key point you said is you got a monster on your back. One of the things that I'm a big believer in is the idle mind is a devil playground, right? And if you've never read this book before, I highly recommend it. Outwitting the Devil. It's by Napoleon Hill. I'm not going to go into details about it. It's one of those books that changed my life. If you have that monster on your back, if you're characterizing the things that people have told you, if you have some type of shame, or if there's something that you're dealing with internally, like you talked about, is facing those demons, I highly suggest picking up that book. You can catch it Audible, Amazon, wherever you pick up books. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill is one of those top of my list, top 5 books.
I love it. And so like once you get past those smudges, and then it's like, okay, so how do I, like, what are my dreams, or what do I want? I suggest, and this is what I've read, is just to kind of sit and write down your ultimate day, your dream day. Like, what does your dream day look like, right?
Well, does your dream day look the same today? Because
like we've had those
day. Conversations.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote down my fantasy day, and I probably lived it out since then. And it's still my fantasy day, I believe. It's still a day that I would like a lot, Now it would probably be a little different, just because then my mindset was a little different than it is now. Now it's like, oh, okay, I could do way much more in a fantasy day. But
your fantasy day actually expanded.
Yes.
So
but still good.
How so if you write down your fantasy day, like, so because that's one thing, right? Because some people will say, all right, I want to sit on the beach in Jamaica with white sandy beaches and put my feet in the water while I'm feeding the fish.
Yep.
That's my fantasy day.
Yeah.
How do you get there?
Yeah. So first is just designing it, right?
Okay.
So we're just talking about like how you like set up and like your mindset of getting ready, right? So first you have to look yourself in the mirror and see all the smudges, and then start working on yourself to get rid of kind of those smudges and stuff, right? So that's getting rid of those limiting beliefs, right? And coming over them and changing the way that you do things. And then boom, go ahead, write down your fantasy day, and create a dream board, right? So it's like a vision board. So these are basically your dreams. These are things that you visualize and now you see, right? So it starts by just visualizing, having the mental capability to know that you can actually achieve this, right? Because sometimes people, like we said in previous podcasts, it's too hard for some people, right, to even get past the thoughts. So first you have to clear all those cobwebs, right? Clear the mirror, and then you have to actually start working on what you want and why, right? So not just the riches, and then get rich and not be able to handle the riches that come to you, but what success and why.
So the key point in that is the why, and that will help you get over a lot of humps. The why. Now, when you do the vision board, because our current vision board has been up for a few years. The vision board before that was up for a few years, and then things start happening, and we was able to start changing that out, right? So when we seen the vision board, like actually, and looking at the vision board today, there's probably like a few things on there that I could probably take off that I'm like, oh shit, like we have that now. One is the trucking thing. It's like, oh shit, we had that fleet, so I could take this off and put something else on there.
Right.
So when you're building your vision board, there's a few different components that go with it. So vision board, there is a method to the madness, right? So you have to be on purpose with it, and so particularly the way we've done it, and this is a shared experience, not just telling you what to do. This is advice. This is what it is. This is free, so we're not telling you advice. We're telling you our experiences and business or work, whatever it is. That's one part of your vision board. The second part is your own personal, how you see yourself, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever the case may be. But it's that self part, and then there's your family part. Do you see your whatever, if it's kids, if it's spouse, it's parents, whatever the case may be, as far as your family goes. That's how you want to kind of design your vision board. And then the why. Why are you putting all these things up? And if your why is serious enough, if your why is one of the things of why you get up in the morning and you breathe, then it will make those things manifesting a lot more easier, and a lot more easier to say, I'm not going to dig the seed out of the dirt every 2 weeks, but I'm going to let that seed sit there and be patient and put the work in.
Yeah, 1,000%. I totally agree with that. Another thing too is thinking versus being, right? So know the power of now and harness the power of now as well, right? So it's things that you want now at this time, right? And how you feel and the emotions that you have right now, and taking those and manifesting in that energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's you said thinking instead of being. So it's like, all right, this is what I feel. This is where I'm at. I'm in it and I'm aware of it. Now what?
Right.
Instead of, again, outwitting the devil, because you're in your head.
You got to read this book.
Yeah, because when you're in your head, believe me. And it's funny because, you can manifest just by thinking. You can manifest things that you don't want.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're manifesting creatures, right? So you have to be
Look
careful.
at everything in this world. Everything in this world was manifested. Like this table that we're sitting at, these microphones, this podcast was manifested.
Yeah.
It wasn't here last year, and we manifested it.
Legit. We could. Have you ever been thinking of someone and then they call? Like
Hell
you
yeah.
manifested that
I
person.
think about you all the time.
Yeah.
You call.
Love you.
No, real shit though.
Yeah,
1,000%.
It's like, I would love this. I mean, this happens to me all the time. I would love that someone comes in like, hey, did you want a coffee? And I'm like, oh shit. Like it's almost scary, right?
Yep.
But yeah, like we are manifesting people. We are manifesting all the time. There's different things that you could do to higher your manifesting vibrations. So what are manifesting vibrations, right? We all live on these vibrations. And this is a totally different conversation. I won't get too deep into it. I won't get too deep into it.
Start waving the hands.
But everything has vibrations, right? Like
Yes.
there's music that keeps you at, like, it's a low vibration music, right? Like you only listen to this music when you're sad, right?
1,000%.
It's because you want to stay there and it makes you feel good in that sadness, and then there's music that you're like, I want to turn up, so I put on this, right? Those are vibrations, and that's just how you feel and how you vibe. And now the biggest thing that everyone loves to say is it's a vibe, right? That's a vibe. That's a vibe.
That's only because you fell in love with the song. I introduced Daneyel.
I love this song.
So I have my moments when I'm like, yo, I'm feeling this song right now. And I put it on. It was 2 Chainz. It's a vibe. Daneyel, like the hairs on her head just stood up. She was like, I love this song. And I was like, yeah, because it's a vibe. Now this is her thing. It became her song now.
Yes. But also it's because of the vibrations, right?
1,000%.
I mean, when it's a vibe, when you got high vibrations, it's like we're vibing. It's a vibe. And that's where manifestations are the highest,
Yes.
right? That's where they dwell, and that's where they are able to like give you the most. But like, how do you raise your vibrations, right? How do you keep them there even? So there's a couple of different things that I learned. One is in all of them, it's a routine. Everything's routine, right?
Yep.
So there's a mental and a financial routine, right? So like as soon as you wake up in the morning, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, it's like these wild horses, like grab my brain and it just goes, right? And I automatically just start thinking of this, that, right? So in the morning, one thing that I created was a list. And as soon as I open my eyes, I see this list. And it's this list of things that I want in my head as soon as I wake up. One is thank you, because I'm grateful that I'm awake, right? Then today is going to be a great day, because today is going to be a great day no matter what, right? And then the third thing I want to say, because I've since taken it down, but it was on the side of my bed. But third thing I can't remember, but these were the things that when I woke up, I seen them, and I taped them to my dresser. So as soon as I woke up, I seen them. And it's it's a thing that kind of just let your mind know, okay, concentrate here first, think on these things, and then go, horses, go, right?
Go wild after
yeah,
that.
go wild. The other thing is, no matter where your financial state is, just feel as if wherever it is, it's however you want it to be, right? So it's not allowing where you financially are to lead where you will financially be, right? So that's the first thing. And so mental and financial routine, right?
And that's a good point, because if, you know, whatever your financial success, whatever that dollar is, right? So if you say, yo, I want to be a millionaire, okay. You want to be a millionaire, hang around millionaires. Now people say, oh, that's easier said than done, right?
Yes.
Well, you have to carry yourself that way in order to be that way, because I'm gonna tell you 1,000%, when you become a millionaire, it's a different mindset.
Yes.
Like, you become a different person. Your habits are different. Your thinking is different, and the mistakes that you did before, you can't have those same mistakes. You can't go through that same stuff.
Yes.
And you can't be uncomfortable around, because millionaires are regular ass people. They got issues. They go through things. Like, so you gotta peg yourself around, you know, be around people that are doing things that financially you want to be at.
So that's another thing I have, social routine, right? So your social routine, be very cognitive and conscious of who you're around, where you spend your time. Break your time into spaces, right? Make sure you spend enough time alone. Make sure you spend time with one person or some person who is equally yoked and like where you want to be, right? So that's like
huge.
So that's like the millionaires. If you want to be a millionaire, or if you want to be a farmer, be around farmers, right? Be around like-minded people who have the like-minded goals. That's going to help. That's going to, I mean, totally help you to manifest what you want, right? Sooner and easier.
Yeah. That goes back to what we talked about, because we've mentioned this before. You're the average of the 5. So you think about the 5 people you're around, and if nobody's a millionaire, then you're never going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, like, legit, because you don't. 2 things are going to happen in your head. The first one is, I don't want to be different, and my friends treat me different, or my friends say, you know, you've changed. So that's one limiting belief that you're going to have, is that your friends are going to be different. And then the other part of that is, you have nobody challenging you.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a challenge, you know, how are you going to get to that next obstacle in life?
Yeah.
And it's not about smarter or harder. It's about challenges and obstacles. And the more challenges, the bigger the challenges, the bigger the obstacles, the better the wins, the bigger the wins.
I love it. Yes, definitely. So 1/3 of your time alone, 1/3 of your time with someone who is aligned, and then 1/3 of your time with a group or an organization. Like you said, that is a part of what you're about. Like these people do what I do, right? And then of that group, you will find somebody who is aligned with you, and then that you can be with. And then in your alone time, then you kind of concentrate and work on what you want, right? So that's how like you ask, if you start like, okay, well, how do I get this, right? So these are the steps of how you get this. Like, this is the work, right? So this is the watering, this is the sun, this is
don't dig up the fucking seed.
Don't dig it up. Don't. You gotta trust the process. You have to trust the universe, right? And that's one thing that I didn't say. That's like the biggest component is trusting, right? So it's like, after you put that seed in, you have to trust that it's gonna come forward, right? I mean, sometimes plants come, it takes a little longer, right? Because maybe the sun was a little too harsh, or maybe it rained a little too much. These are the trials and tribulations of life that happen, and these are the things that kind of deter us and think like, oh, you know, our plant flooded, so it's not going to come. It's just going to take a little bit longer. It may be a stronger plant now because of the flood. Some different seeds may have flown in there, and now it's going to be an even better plant. And now maybe if it's a hybrid plant, you know what I mean? Like, so just trusting the universe and all things that happen. Another thing, physical and an energetic routine, right? So every day we should be moving. We should be doing something, right? Something. It's like whether, let's see, yoga, do 20 minutes of yoga, take a walk, do sit-ups, ride a bike, jog, Stairmaster, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, right? Jump rope, lift weights. Listen, dance to your favorite music for 20 minutes. Just dance, just move. Moving, it helps keep you fluid, keeps it helps keep you energetic, it helps your mind stay alert. You got to move. You can't be stagnant.
I want to say something about that, people, because we're celebrating. Daneyel and I have known each other for 20 years. We've been together for 17 years, been married for 14 years. And people say, well, how do you guys have that thing? Because one thing, we laugh a lot. And we could be in a quiet restaurant and we'll fucking crack up, die laughing, right?
It's so true.
And so two things is the secret sauce in longevity. It's laughing together and dancing together. Like those two things is, I'm telling you, is the secret sauce. If you dance, and you got to be able to dance anywhere. Like you could dance in your living room, you could dance in a restaurant, you could dance, like we could dance in this fucking studio right now. Like I wouldn't give a shit. But that, like, between those two things, dancing and laughing is everything.
Yeah, definitely. And people who laugh a lot, they laugh hard, right? And then people who dance and play, you play hard,
Exactly.
So
Deep belly laughing.
like, yeah. Let's see, spiritual and a meditational routine is also important, right? Sit in silence for 20 minutes as well. Have a good inner relaxation. This is and it's spiritual and meditation. Spiritual could be either way you want, right? Once you meditate or pray, go into prayer, you're either talking to a higher power, your higher self, divine power, whatever it is. It's something more and bigger than yourself. But what's important is that silence and that stillness. Sometimes, which, people say, oh, I can't meditate because my mind gets full of things. But if you're quiet for 20 minutes, then those things that actually pour into your mind, you may start to think about and actually make sense of, right? So it's like, so it's like, oh, I can't do it. I can't. Yeah, you're doing it, right? But it just depends. And then there's those times where you have this complete silence, the nirvana. It's just like amazing feeling of nothingness that you just need, right? Just a clear headspace. But try it. I say take it 2 minutes at a time. We've talked about meditation before. My journey began at 2 minutes. Now I can meditate an hour with no problems, without getting fidgety and all that good stuff. But before, it was a problem. It took me a while. So I say try it.
1,000%. So Daneyel just dropped a lot of gold gems on you.
I'm trying to do it. I try not to not quickly, but
So in all seriousness, this is what we practice, right? So we practice this every day. So just to kind of give you a visual, when I get up in the morning, I meditate, and then after my meditation, I go in the bathroom, I brush my teeth, and I look at my vision board, and I visualize my day, and not only my day, but my future and everything in between. And then once we're done with that, I'll get down and do a few push-ups just to get active, right? So I'll bust out a few push-ups, make my shoulders and my arms burn. At this point, I don't even count them. I just do them until they hurt. And then after all of that, I put on affirmations. Right? I put on positive content, things that I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not looking at social media. I might look at the stock exchange. I might look at all my bank accounts. That's the financial part. And I do that every single day. And when I'm listening to that positive affirmations, I'm listening to that the entire time we're getting ready for work. And then when we get to work, I have reading material that's positive. I have an affirmation that it's like a contract that I asked Daneyel to sign. So it's a contract that I wrote to myself, and I asked Daneyel to sign it to hold me accountable to it. And in that contract, it talks about all the different components of my life that I am obligated to ensure I carry out. So it's a contract to myself, holding myself accountable in obligations. And Daneyel's the co-signer on that. And then once I'm done with my reading, and this is daily reading, then I write out what my financial affirmations are. And literally that's my day, the first part of my day, and then I get to work. So that's like, so if you like, oh, well, no, it doesn't work, or man, it sounds hard, or it sounds like a lot. No, like take this just a little bit at a time. Like everything Daneyel said, literally just take a few of those things, and you could stack them up and add to it. or just take a few of those things and just. The thing about it is, you have to commit to it and make it a routine and do it every day.
Yes. A couple of more things before I just wanted to cover. What we put into our body also affects what we manifest, right?
Huge. That's the other half.
It either raises our vibrations, or it lowers it, right? So foods.
Can't be eating pork ribs.
Power food and an eating routine, right? So it's 70% of your diet should be raw foods, right? Raw foods. What is raw foods? That's food that was alive or water-based. Did it grow? That's the question to ask yourself, right? Did it grow? 70% of whatever you eat should be that question. Did it grow? That's, to me, is rough because I love to eat, right? All right, live to eat is what I say.
1,000%.
But just knowing if you kind of keep that, then you really want to manifest something into your life. It's work. It's not just, like I said, it's not just throwing words in the sky and then watching them go. There's certain things that you have to do to make them grow, right? So 70% of raw foods, then it would be the 70-10-10-10 rule, right? So 10% would be fish or other sea creatures, 10% would be organic or free roaming, 10% would be all natural rice or grains. And the reason you want your meat to be free ranged is just because of, and this is just thought, the way that they cage an animal. If you eat that caged animal, now you are ingesting that energy from that animal. So just remember that whatever, like, energy transfers, right? So just be cognitive of that when you eat. That's why it's better to eat free roamed red meats, eggs, and chicken, because those eggs come from the chicken, right? Detoxifying and a purification routine. This is hard because I'm drinking wine, right? But of course, toxins, they haze your manifesting, right? Your vibrations, they get a bit hazy when you drink, or if you do drugs, or if you do anything that's going to lower your vibration. So if you want to manifest, and you can manifest on a higher level by hiring your vibrations, then you'll take out things that will hinder it. And that would be things that are unhealthy. So alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, all of these things.
That's super dope.
Yeah. Another thing is a sleeping routine. Make sure you sleep well. Make sure you are early to bed and early to rise. And then when you rise early, you can do all of your manifesting routines in the morning. And these are things that you do every day to help higher your vibrations.
One of the things that I've been talking about the last few days is, and I picked this up from a friend of mine, shout out to Ron Harrell. He said, don't manage your time, manage your energy, right? So time is an illusion. Manage your energy, because it doesn't matter what time of the day, what you're doing. If you manage your energy and you're effective in that, then the sky's the limit when it comes to, and you'll be able to take massive action. Like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I agree. Ask for what you want and be prepared to get it, Maya Angelou says, and I think that's dead on. Ask for what you want and be prepared when it comes to
Hell
you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just my final thought on all this, and like you said, baby, it's a lot. But just remember, manifesting is not just about asking the universe for what you want, right? It's putting in work. It's putting in work for what you want.
Hell yeah, that's life and shit.
It's life and shit.
Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.